In the ravine, I guess you wouldn't really need flight, so if there was a monkey down there who learned Yatagarasu language... Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Yatagarasu. As I've stated a number of times now, we're quickly approaching the end, and I don't know how we're going to wrap up here. But, as I've said before, I think I have anyway. I think there's still a lot more material for Yatagarasu, so it might not be that we actually wrap up for real, but we end up in a way that, like, Berserk ended up, right? That essentially, the one true Berserk, by the way, I don't mean any of the false pretenders to the throne, that Berserk exists as a means to sell you on the manga. It's not itself I guess it kind of is its own complete series and that it loops, but the idea that it's not everything, that this might just end on a note that makes you want to read the manga. I'm kind of getting that into me now. I mean, it'd be great if it could end in a good way, in a this is the end of the story way. At the same time, I don't think that would satisfy me either. I've said this a number of times. I'm not somebody who likes finishing a show. It only makes me want more from the characters, and most of the time, more is not on the table. So, yeah. It's just never good for me. And I like this show, and, I will say, I am not particularly tied to any character, even Natsuka here. Kind of no real attachment, do I feel. What I am attached to is the world. I like the politics, I like the world building. I would love, here's the problem. I could take anything, right? You could set another story for Yatagarasu in, one of the villages, and just have the people be dealing with one another. I like the world. The world is cool. I want more of that. It doesn't even have to be the same characters anymore, so I'm not going to feel sad for not having the prince, or Yukiya, or Natsuka, or any of the people that we've come to meet this whole time. Well, oddly, the consorts, they're the ones I missed, but I'm already missing them. They're not part of the story anymore. They had an interesting development that made me attach to them, whereas they weren't the main piece of the story, and I guess their story's over except for Hamiya, or Sumi, as we're going to call them now. Anyway, this was a ramble before I even started anything. We come back as we normally do, with notes and a board. So let's go ahead and hit that board first thing. Where unfortunately we don't have that much in the way of notes on the board. I changed the green line from Jihei to Kumi to blue because it turns out that was her dad. Then I marked Jihei as dead. I connected Kumi to the Yuki family with a green line. I'm calling them the Yuki family because they all have Yuki in their name, so I'm assuming that must be it. And I added Toby. He appeared at the very end, and his name came up on screen. I have nobody to tie him to yet, so is what it is. I also don't know where he's at. I would have guessed Central, but I don't know. I don't think we even got shown that. Well, sorry. There was the guy in the north who overheard information, who then went to Toby, but I don't know how long it took him to get there. Because there's always the element that any of these people can shapeshift and turn into a bird and then fly. So, I don't know how long it takes. Also, we've seen the prince go from the north to center in like a day, I feel like. So, alright, well, that's the board. And as I said, we got notes. So the monkeys can transform, eat meat, hunt living prey. Thus far, only Yatagarasu. More importantly, though, they are capable of deception. Not just the transforming thing, I mean. That one of them hunkered down and waited for Yukiya to get near before attacking him. Also, they don't understand the Yatagarasu language, which has to make sneaking into places in human form that much harder. Can the prince not harm other Yatagarasu? Thinking back to the first assassination attempt that we saw, he specifically had Sumio fight, but he definitely pulled a sword in the second assassination attempt. I cannot remember off the top of my head if he actually took anyone down, though. I suppose that could be a major weakness for the prince, not being able to attack anyone back. Not sure if that's a matter of being a true Kinyu or a matter of religious doctrine. Definitely must be what shapes his vision of how things need to be changed, though. I just want to put it out there now. I wouldn't be surprised if these monkeys weren't attacking on their own, but somehow assembled by a party that we already know. A classic trope in stories where we have a motivated, powerful few is to create a threat in order to either defeat it and show that you have the strength or intelligence to lead, or unify everyone under a common banner and stop them from fighting one another. Watchmen, for example, is the go-to example for that. What if Natsuka really was up to something this whole time, and to follow his brother's vision, created a threat that his brother could unify everyone under? Just spitballing ideas, doesn't have to be Natsuka, just that general sort of thing. Azusa is doing her best to win the title of Best Anime Mom. Here's hoping Kome is as innocent as she seems to be, otherwise Azusa is going to end up in a completely different category of anime moms. The one that's more populated by characters, you might understand. Maybe the food was laced with some drug that slowed them down. Huh. Or, the sake that someone brought. I mean, I don't have any motive for it, but we do know that they brought sake and everyone partied drinking it. To be honest, though, I bet this is a double twist. That the drug story weaves itself in there. That they are innocent. That this is a red herring, as someone else drugged the sake. Maybe that physician guy that we saw twice, who was unconnected to the rest of the episode, he was at the hut that the old guy was at when Kumi went there to buy something. Maybe she got the sake there, and that guy drugged the sake then? Just an idea. Either way, that is all of my notes. That's all I had to really look into last episode. Because, basically we're getting introduced to a new storyline, and I would say I need more time to get the characters developed to know what's going on. Well, not so much the characters we already know, but the threat and everything. But, we don't have that much time left, as it turns out. So, I guess the only left thing to do here, those were words. The only thing left to do here is to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
We can fly, right? You just fly over it and see what it is. Oh, we can shoot at them, piss them off. Why not? They did eat a village. There's a barrier? Okay, that changes things considerably. That implies to me that there's no way in and there's no way out, which one makes the prince's voyage or expedition, no, the time he spent away from this area that much more stranger, because that everyone knows that happened, and they say he's stranger for it. But it also implies that everyone just understands that there's a way out, assuming that it was a barrier, right? That's what all my assumptions right now are. That also implies that the monkeys found a way in. But not all of them, because obviously, if this is a war scenario, then they are out there waiting. This is, was Endgame? Avengers Endgame? When everyone's just outside of Wakanda, outside the Wakanda barrier, to invade that, and they're just waiting for openings, or they're creating their own openings. The fact that that's there, that explains why there would be all these fires out there, because they're all just camped out, waiting for the barrier to go down. which I have to anticipate then would mean that the monkeys on the inside that are eating people and killing everybody are there to infiltrate to take down the barrier, or find out how to take down the barrier. All of my thoughts from that one thing. You are Yatagarasu. You could do it on your own. They did say you turned into a bird. Raven, whatever.
もしかしてこれからご挨拶に上がったりするのかしら。それなら宮中へは行きません。今日は君の家で着替えを詰めたらすぐタルヒに帰ります。つまらないの。
Is that the first time we've seen the entire area from top down? That wasn't the palace, I mean?
高すぎますよ。この辺りの相場だ。嫌なら他を当たりな。そんなこと言わないで。もう少しなんとかなりませんか。一時ばかり預けるだけですよ。ダメなものはダメだ。そこをなんとか。じゃあこれで。
In the idea that ravens are just people. I'm sorry, horses. Horses are just people. Essentially walking around with a person. The attitude people have with druids in D&D, right? If your horse is a druid, it's just a guy who's letting you ride him. I guess the hope that Dad came home. Is that what it is? I mean, unless she's looking for something more nefarious.
Koume-san, 大丈夫ですか? 父が戻っているような気がしたの。バカみたい。うちは代々水売りだったの。水売り。ただの水じゃないのよ。中央山ではね、特別需要のある水が取れる場所があるの。
As for the princess testing this whole time?
万病に効いたり、植物の肥料にしたり、地方じゃ薬として売られているのよ。
You're selling water as medicine. I feel like I shouldn't be sympathetic to you.
ボロ儲けだったの。でもある時、ぱったり井戸が枯れちゃって。
You think it's gonna be a thing like there's tunnels down there? And that's the escape in and out from Central?
借金取り悪いけど何も残ってないわよ。今すぐ出てって。驚かせて悪かった。俺たちは自兵の仲間さ。頼まれて君を迎えに来たんだ。
Seems unlikely considering he's dead.
なぜ父がここに来ないの？ああ、いろいろあってね。君も知ってるだろう。お父さんの仕事のこと。
It's probably Toby's men, I have to assume.
おいで、お父さんに会わせてあげる。本当に小梅さんのお父上と仲間なんですか？僕はこの方の身を守る義務がある。信用できない方に彼女を渡すわけにはいきません。義務だ。ガキが面倒かけさすんじゃねえや。分かったわよ。草履ぐらい履かせてよ。ほら急げ。分かってるわよ。
I would have expected he put up more of a fight considering what I've seen of him.
彼女を返せ。ガキが。
Come on, we've seen you fight better than this. That was pretty cool. I like the animation on it.
って料理してやろうか。
その子は若宮殿下のそば使いよ。
若宮だと。
彼自身も由緒正しい宮ガラスよ。傷一つつけてごらんなさい。あんたたち全員ただじゃ済ま
Would
ない
they
から。
believe that though?
今のは本当か。
若宮にお仕えしていたことがあるのは事実だ。
話してやれ。
ユキヤ、
小僧、若宮に伝えろ。遠からず地下街の飛びから連絡が行くだろう。それまでに
Like I said, Toby's men.
言い訳を考えておけとな。
協定。もういや、また父がやらかしたのね。やらかした？何を？知らないわよ。うんざりだわ。いつだって私ばっかり尻拭いさせられて。
I mean, you got no choice now.
ろくでなし、いっそ帰ってこなきゃいい。そしたら私も
I mean, he's not gonna.
ある日でやり直せるのに。そんな言い方。君はお父上が心配じゃないんですか？自分のことしか頭にないんですか？猿だっていつまた現れるかわからない。たる日は危機にさらされてるんです。それなのに君は。何よ偉そうに。苦労知らずの坊ちゃんのくせに。そっちこそ僕の何
Feel
を
like any other show that would just slap.
私はずっと父にたかられてきたのよ。いつまでも枯れた井戸にしがみついている父に挨拶かして母は家を出て行ったわ。だから私が働いた。子供のもらえるお給金なんてたかが知れてるわよ。それでも必死に朝から晩まで。そのわずかなお金もあいつは全部博打やバカみたいな儲け話につぎ込んで。ごめんな、次は一発当てるからって。この地獄から抜け
Your
出
dad
して
had an illness.
そう思うのがそんなに悪いこと。両親に恵まれて家族に愛されて育ったあんたには分かんないわよ。
I know I said this last time, but literally my dad died a week ago. And my dad was a horrible alcoholic. So I understand this whole, your dad kind of fucking ruined your, you know. Still my dad.
おう、久しぶりだな、ユキヤ。
すみおさん、ご無沙汰しています。僕。
ま、とりあえず中へ入れよ。話はすでに聞いてる。例の娘は大丈夫か？
はい。山内州の詰め所に預けました。ご迷惑をおかけしてすみません。
気にするな。
Are those the ones we can trust?
名月彦への報告が先だ。殿下、ユキヤを連れてまいりました。
I can't remember the name of the guard the Empress's guards work for. Definitely can't trust them.
ご政務中申し訳ありません。
It's gonna be Hamia.
殿下にお伝えしなければならないことがあります。この度僕の不手際で。一体何をやらかしたって？浜優様？
昼間だけちょいと来て公務を代わってやってるのさ。影武者みたいなもんだね。
Oh, wife now.
影武者
That's fast.
では若宮は？
この一大事にあれが宮中でおとなしくしている玉かね。
確かに。
まあゆっくりしておいで。お菓子でも食べるかい？
浜優様。あ、そうだ。それどころじゃ。
地下街の。
Toby of the Underground.
こりゃまた大物が出てきたね。トビの名が出た以上、協定ってのは
不可侵の協定ですね。間違いなく。
I mean, we know what this guy's like.
すみません。
Walked into his den and he's whipping people.
朝廷と谷合の密約のことさ。
密約？
谷合に行ったことはあるか？
一月ほど若宮の刀の七草として。
七草？
はあ、もうあの時は生きて帰れないかと。
そいつはとんだ目にあったな。
I mean, it was a nasty place.
だが一
Clean
昔
up the
前までは
mattresses if they
も
were
っとひ
wet.
どかったそうだぞ。文字通りの無法地帯で毎日が血で血を洗う縄張り争い。そんなある日、一人の男がふらりと現れ、地下街に住み着いた。
地下街。
谷合の一等奥、札付きのお尋ね者が最
You
後
know, in the
に潜り
ravine,
込
I
む
guess you
ような
wouldn't
とこ
really
ろで
need flight. So if there was a monkey down there who learned Yatagarasu
男はあっという間
language,
に手なずけて地下街を根城に谷合をまとめ上げち
Shelby could be one of them.
どうやって
Why we're introducing him
さあ
now.
ね、よほどの切れ者か腕っぷしか。尊敬の意を込めて皆男をこう呼んだ。作王と
作王。
荒くれ者たちの集まりは独自の法を持った自治組織へと生まれ変わり、表社会と裏社会の明確な住み分けがなされた。その頃、朝廷で金羽の座についていたのは名月彦の祖父だ。
名君と名高い金羽ですよね。
匂うかね。酒
I
の
feel like
方
we're
が頭が
building up a
回る前
connection at least to add to the
金羽
family
と
board.
作王は対等に渡り合い、一つの決め事をしたのさ。互いの領分はきちんと収める。同時に互いの内政に干渉しない。
So it's like there's a micronation in the middle of Central
もう4、50年前の
of
話だからね。
criminals.
作王から飛びに代替わりしても、そいつはずっと守られてきた。いわば協定は山内の安寧を陰で支えてきたわけだ。
I don't know so much the peace in the entire area. In Central, sure. Unless we're implying that the ravine stretches across the entire place.
おそらく治兵衛とやらは地下街の連中を怒らせるようなことをしたんだろう。だが本人は行方不明。そこで仕方なくその娘を拉致することにした。ところが邪魔が入った挙句、娘の口から若宮の名が出たもんだから。
申し訳ありません。僕が小梅を連れてきたばっかりに。
お前はお父上に従っただけだろう。
I mean, to be fair, they could have found clothes for her back
僕が
home,
うかつだっただけです。
not her home.
もっと注意すべきだったのに。
ユキヤ、もしかしてその娘にはもともと不審な点があったのかい？
小梅は何かを隠しています。最初からそれは感じていました。でも証拠もないし、考えすぎだと言われればグーの音も出ないんですけど、若宮の名前を出したのも計算の上かも。
I don't know, unless it turns out to be like actual connections in the ravine. I think it's gonna turn out to be a double bluff.
え？これは近習の。
お前には名月彦を迎えに行ってほしい。そいつで関所も通れるはずだ。
あ、はい。
当面持ってな。門を通るたびに門番に捕まるのも面倒だ。
はあ。
タルヒのことは心配すんな。俺から事情を伝えておくから。
まあ、そういう
I
わけ
keep
だ。
trying to get out, but they keep pulling me back in.
ユキヤ。
Another attack site. Can't tell if this is cloudy, rainy weather or if those are fire clouds. Smoke. Smoke is it colloquially called. Fire clouds. I feel like I should use that for something. I guess we're gonna find the Wisteria Arrows guy. Or the prince, as it turns out. I thought it couldn't have been the prince because I thought the prince went back to center. Obviously, from the beginning of the episode, I mean. Ooh, more of the magic that only the prince seems to be able to do.
なぜお前がここにいる？
浜優様が殿下を連れてこいと。てか、何なんですか今のは。
ほころびを作ろうっているのだ。
Sounded like you made one.
結界のほころびだ。山内と山内の外の世界との。
山内の外。
They hit the barrier and it seemed to crack a bit. It's like, I think you made more of a...
一体何をしたんですか？
一時的な処置だが結界を補強したのだ。ほころびはいわば山内の結界が弱くなっている部分だ。あそこから外に出てしまうとヤタガラスは二度と山内へ戻ってこられなくなる。
もしかして時々いなくなるのはこれを？
そうだ。もしや
Right, because he certainly doesn't go to the whorehouse.
しかし、少々ほつれていただけで結界の防御機能は保たれていた。であれば、猿は一体どこから？
Again, you left the region before. You would know how to get out of here. Maybe check that spot.
直せるのは私だけだ。すべてのヤタガラスを守ることが唯一私に与えられた仕事だから。
That's the episode 1 thing I kept talking about. So obviously that's not in the future. He's reminiscing about it. So that whole theory is wrong. My theory, of course.
まずはその着物を何とかしましょう。宮中には相応の衣装でないと。
はい。浜優様は何をお考えなのでしょう。曰くのある娘を大家宮に、なんだか恐ろしい気がします。
浜優にも考えがあって。
Well, at least we got her back. Is that Shiratama as well?
娘の罪ではなくてよ。丁重に扱ってあげましょう。
At least she didn't go to the mirror temple. Sorry, I forgot the name of it. She's not there, obviously. It seemed like the woman standing next to her could have been Shiratama.
小梅からお前の名前を聞いて書かれたもんだろう。相変わらず地下街の連中はやることが早いや。どうする、名月彦。行くしかないだろう。
殿下。
喫緊の問題は猿だ。地下街と揉めるのは得策ではない。むしろ私は好機だと思っている。
え？
小梅は 猿に襲われた集落の唯一の生き残りだ。それが地下街に狙われているとなれば。
Again, I think he might be connected to the monkeys. Toby, I mean.
根拠は
金羽の勘だ。
名月彦。
I didn't realize he was, my boy Natsuka was so tall. I mean, Rokan, obviously. But Natsuka is also touching the doorway.
考え直せ。向こうがお前を人質に取るようなことになってみろ。朝廷は手足を縛られたも同然。
Take Rokan with you.
悪いが俺も反対だ。 地下街じゃお前を守りきる自信がない。私が行く。他に方法はない。
名月彦。
大丈夫だ、二人とも。そんなに心配せずとも。
I'm surprised Natsuka, like, do it. She doesn't tend to take those calls, you know?
私はどうでもいいのだがな。お前を地下街には行かせない。行くのはユキヤ、そなただ。
I understand he's like the fucking main character. It isn't saying, like, you know, you were in the fucking country, but let's send this guy. I guess to be fair, Yuki is known here. It wouldn't be, like, out of the blue. And they liked him. Some of the people here liked him. I appreciate that we've essentially started a new, not a character arc, a new story arc, right? With this invasion thing, but I was concerned that I was so invested in the previous arc that we could not continue with the quality that I had come to enjoy and expect from the show. And I was wrong. This has been quite enjoyable. They've maintained, like, the first episode after was kind of a stumble, not because of the show, from my perspective. It was a bit of a stumble, because I had to get used to not dealing with the politics that I was accustomed to. But, you know, as soon as we got past that, it's immediately what's going on with her. What's her hidden message here? What are we tying the monkeys into? What's the major concern that we have to deal with, and what do we have to do to get everything not motivated, but moving about it? It is very still within the turning gears and cogs of the previous story arc. What's going on now? And, you know, I'm more excited that we're back to seeing the old crew again. The old crew, even though they were never really a crew to begin with, now they seem to be working together. If I'm right about the Shiratama thing or not, I don't know. It was definitely the other one, though. Yeah, her. Oh. Sorry, it was the element that one of them had the monkey eyes, which is what I said. Monkeys down there. Sorry, I always forget her name. She has the 3-word name, the same way that Shiratama's mother and grandmother did. Well, unrelated. The one that went to the mirror temple place. The same as Natsuka. Her. She's there, and I felt like she was talking to Shiratama, even though I think the idea was that Shiratama had to go run off and live in the woods or something. My moment was that it was Natsuka went down there with Yukiya, which is like, okay. I appreciate that more. Also the element that Natsuka doesn't get a lot of focus, you know, screen time. I'm also looking at the end art here, which I appreciate is Natsuka and his brother, aka the prince. I think whoever was drawing the faces did my boy a little dirty here, because he's kind of got like giant bro face, and that's not Natsuka's face at all. Yeah, again, we're going back to the politics. Granted, we're doing like this whole other thing, but the politics are still at play. I like that. The prince being magically powerful and having this other side responsibility, it's whatever. The element he could open doors with his voice was a weird thing. But at the end of the day, you gotta take into account he is a golden raven at the end of it all. That no matter how human all these people look, they can all turn into a raven if they call at the drop of a hat. So yeah. Again, really, I love this show. Which is going to make it so much worse when 4 episodes from now, or I guess 3 episodes from now, it's going to be over. I guess the idea, and I put this out there a lot, the worry is that it didn't do well enough despite being so high quality, in which case it might not get anything else. Alternatively, the hope. The hope is that something else the studio is making is just really good right now, and that this will come back and get focused on. Because, I mean, I would put this up there with Freerin and everything. Like, it doesn't hit me on the emotional level, it hits me on an intellectual level. Because it's Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones in anime form. Anyway, you don't need to hear me gush. I've gushed for 16 episodes. At least for 15 episodes. I've gushed for 15 episodes now about how good this is. I don't really have much to talk about here, because the element is that we're just getting introduced to the stuff that I feel like is going to be more important in a couple of episodes, right before the end. The element that we made a secret truce, and the new leader kept up that truce, and it's just all underground. Apparently, just people don't know about it, even though it seems like a whole bunch of people know about it. Don't know who the old man is going to be, unless it turns out that the King Saku was his name? I can't remember. The king is still alive. If that's the case. It was only been 10 years, right? So, entirely possible. Yeah, I mean, other than that, we're not really dealing with what's going on in the north right now, other than the fact that possible invasion at any moment. We got monkeys hiding around all over the place, apparently. There's got to be some sort of secret other way to get in here, even though we still haven't covered the way that the prince got out. Unless the idea was that he wasn't going abroad, and that's what they're implying. He wasn't going abroad, he was actually just doing the stuff around the outer edge of the territory. In which case, sucky-ass job if he spent years doing that and they still found a way in. Could be that the the ravine, they've just been tunneling underground, and that's actually the thing. That they're the middle point between the outside and central. Again, the only way to know is by watching more, and we're gonna, because I fucking love the show. So, yeah, I think we're going to wrap up here. So, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?